The day you give up your firearms to protect your family, your wife and your children and your home, I'm not advocating anyone killing anyone, but if you give up your firearms, the Nazis will march into this country and take this thing over lock, stock, and barrel quickly. The only thing that has kept America free, I believe, is that these people at the top, the Nazis and the fascists who have been waiting to destroy our country, the only reason they haven't made their move is because the guns in America represent the largest single armed camp on the earth as Americans. And I say don't ever give up your firearms, because when you do, you will begin to see quickly the complete and total collapse of America to the fascists and Nazis who are running this country from behind the scenes. Somebody better wake up. We are in serious trouble. I think the incident in New York was a staged incident, and the people who intend to enslave our country couldn't care less.
Hey YouTube world, Harvest is plenty. Thanks for stopping by to check out the video. You know, there's so much going on in this world you can't even keep up. But I did see these headlines, and I waited a couple days before I decided to put up this video, because I want to see what will be the reaction from the Second Amendment groups and these big YouTube channels that push guns, that push training, that push all of these things Second Amendment. The so-called patriots out there. I want to see what will be their reaction towards their fearless leader, Donald Trump, because most of them voted for him. And the ones who did speak out, and there was only a couple, they blamed Pam Bondi. Because it's easy to blame Pam Bondi for the actions of Trump. The same way it was easy to blame Elon Musk for the actions of Trump. Because you don't want to blame somebody that you voted for and that you pushed people on your channel that follow your channel to vote for. But here we are, the slow creep towards dictatorship. Nibble by nibble, bit by bit. Want to ban trans Americans from owning guns based on the action of one single person who shot up a school. What happened to shall not be infringed? You know, I remember reading in my New World Order books, and I've read so many by now, that said that under the New World Order, private ownership of firearms will not be allowed. So they have to take away the guns, or at least try to. They have some things in their playbook that they're going to run to try to take away the guns. It's coming. It is coming. Mark my words. Here's another headline. Fox News. Justice Department considers possible ban on transgender people owning guns. Here's another one. Trump admin plots to ban guns for trans Americans. And yet, here's another one. Trump looking to ban transgender people from having a gun and declaring them mentally ill. Imagine that. What if they said a school shooting happened and the perpetrator was a white male, so white people can no longer own guns? Or a school shooting happened and the shooter was an African American male, so black people can no longer own guns. Or the shooter was a Japanese American or Asian American or a Native American. Or the shooter was Irish, so therefore Irish people in America can no longer own guns. Think about that. Now, as a Christian, I do not believe in homosexuality, nor do I support it. I do not support lesbianism, and of course I don't support the transgender movement. However, the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment, same as the First Amendment, same as the Third, the Fourth, the Fifth, the Sixth Amendment, so on and so forth. People have rights. You can't just take somebody's rights away because you disagree with their sexuality. But I don't think this has anything to do with transgender people, Democrats, liberals, or anything like that, even though people are trying to still push the Hegelian dialect, Democrat versus Republican, which is pretty much two wings on the same New Order bird. I told you guys that. That's why I tell you guys not to pick sides. This is about Trump bringing in a new world order. It's coming. He's only been in office for a little bit, and he's already transforming America. Not for the best, but for the worst. Remember the video I did with the Hopi prophecy? The guy said the man with the red cap, he was coming to bring destruction. That was the Hopi prophecy. Incrementalism. Step by step, little by little, nibble by nibble. You know, targeting transgender people, they're watching to see what the reaction is going to be. They want to know if people are going to rally behind and defend their rights. If the people don't, they're going to push forward. If the people do, they're going to retract and retreat and plan for something else. You know, I remember, and I'm going to paraphrase this. Remember the saying, what happened in Germany? Again, I'm paraphrasing for all you word sleuths out there and the people who know exactly what I'm trying to say. But they said when they came for the gypsies, I wasn't a gypsy, so I didn't stand up. You know, and when they came for the Jews, I wasn't Jewish, so I didn't stand up. And then when they came for me, everybody else was gone. There was nobody else left to stand up for me. And so they're, you know, dividing the people and targeting them. And through this selective targeting of people, they're going to take America under. I hope people wake up and see this for what it really is. I mean, Trump said, if you vote for me, you won't ever have to vote again. In 4 years, it'll be all over. How come nobody took him to task about that and said, man, what do you mean? In 4 years, it'll be all over. What will be all over? And why won't we ever have to vote again? He read the snake poem out to everybody. Shut up, you silly woman. Shut up. You knew I was a snake before you let me in. He said that on national television and received a thunderous applause. Is that the delusion that God talked about in the scriptures? Because people don't want to believe in the truth, he's going to send them a delusion that they should believe a lie and be damned for that? Man, oh man. Please wake up, people. Stay tuned. I have more videos to come. I love you. May the good Lord continue to bless you and your family.
We want to bring you this update as the Justice Department is considering ways to prevent transgender people from buying guns, according to multiple reports. The news comes 1 week after the deadly school shooting in Minneapolis. The suspect in that shooting was transgender. Justice Department officials are reportedly considering a range of options, but banning an entire group of Americans from purchasing a gun could be difficult to implement or even illegal. To help us understand what's possible, and we're going to be now joined by constitutional law expert Robert McWhirter. And Robert, let's start out right now what you thought about this news.
Well, it's a little shocking, and actually any gun owner should be very afraid, and the National Rifle Association should be up in arms about this proposal. Look, if you're going to say that a diagnosis of gender dysmorphia, which is part of the foundation of transgender, is a basis to take away guns, well, why not somebody who's clinically depressed? Do they all get their guns taken away? What about somebody who just has a neuroses about, I don't know, whatever, and all of a sudden you're making a justification to take away their Second Amendment right to bear arms? And this is the thinnest of bases which to do it. Transgender people are usually 4 times more likely to be victims of crimes rather than perpetrators of crimes. And the people who have committed mass shootings have been overwhelmingly heterosexual men, who are called cisgender, but let's just say heterosexual men. So to say that you're going to, kind of go after transgender people, frankly, I just think this is an attempt to create a narrative about the school shooting, the tragedy that occurred with the kids at Mass, and to try to take this focus as how how this has something to do with the culture wars, other than the fact that we don't have gun laws that keep guns out of the hands of people who are dangerous.
And Robert, I mean, just how would this even work for like gun owners in the stores? I mean, how would they be able to ask someone, "Hey, are you transgender?"
Well, that is a very good question. Because a lot of transgenders, I mean, you can't tell. I mean, some I suppose you can tell, but by looking at people. And then are you going to now ask for somebody's psychological profile? I mean, maybe if that's what you want as a basis for gun control, that you cannot buy a firearm unless you are deemed to be psychologically fit, then fine. But that's something that the National Rifle Association should be totally up in arms about. If we have a psychological test before you can own a firearm, I don't think that they would be very happy about it. And how else are you going to tell whether somebody is psychologically fit and whether they're transgender or not?
Yeah, that's so true. And what else, too, Robert? What about other groups? I mean, we're talking about, what about veterans that suffer from PTSD? I mean, those are things you got to consider as well.
Well, absolutely. And I will say, there is a history of this country of excluding a specific group of people. And it comes from the region of the country that has the longest history of gun control. And frankly, surprisingly, that is the Deep South, which banned all Black people from owning firearms, whether they were slaves or not. Free Black people in the South could not own firearms. And that extended well past the Civil War, well through Jim Crow, et cetera. And, that's one of the bases of why the United States Supreme Court decided in the Heller decision that there is an individual right to bear arms because of that racist past, excluding an entire group of people in America from the right to possess a firearm. So I don't see how this is all that different when you've just decided to grab one group of Americans and say they should be excluded.